This is Ben from Goatwhore, and you're watching The Age of Metal.
Hey everybody, this is Stephanie here with The Age of Metal. I'm here right now at State Theater in St. Petersburg, Florida for the Summer Slaughter Tour, and I'm here with Ben from Goatwhore. So how are you?
Pretty damn good.
Awesome. So we are on Summer Slaughter. How has it been so far this year?
It's been very warm, of course, but then I guess it wouldn't be Summer Slaughter if it wasn't warm, right?
True. Exactly.
Yeah. But you know what? Today is actually really good temperature-wise.
Yeah, it is nicer.
You know, it is humid and everything, but we just got out of Texas and it was like 102. We were in Arizona, it was like 106, you know.
Right,
but
that's right heat.
I think it, you know,
Yeah.
but we were, I guess, forgiven today in some sort of sense, possibly.
Maybe.
We'll see.
They blessed you with, you guys are performing so fucking brutal that we're not going to have you die of heat stroke today.
Yeah, something like
There we
that,
go.
you know.
Yes, and we were just talking about the last Summer Slaughter that you were at in Tampa. There was a guy who had a gun, and you know the whole venue had to be evacuated. So I guess
Like, you know what was crazy? I think it was like right after we played, and I think Job for a Cowboy was right after us.
Yeah.
And it happened in that in-between spot, and some guy was threatened, like he showed somebody he had a gun or something like that, and then that person reported it, and they cleared the whole venue out, and it took like a couple of hours to sort it out and then get everybody back in the venue and get the show back on the road and everything. It was pretty crazy, but it ended up working out, and I guess they got the guy and they pulled him out the venue and got rid of him and everything. And tonight, luckily, we don't have any knives or guns happening, so it should be all right.
right. Let's hope no other debauchery happens tonight or anything.
Of course. Well, there'll be debauchery, but I don't think it'll be like that, you know. It'll be more in the essence of what bands do when they're on tour.
Right. A lot of sweating, a lot of eating, hopefully drinking, possibly
Yeah.
sleeping.
It goes hand in hand pretty much.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So other than that experience that we just talked about, do you have any other really good Summer Slaughter memories or anything?
Well, no, I mean, it's just good. You know, it's good when you tour with bands, you know, that you're familiar with, that, you know, you've toured with in the past. We've done shows with Dying Fetus. We've done shows with Fallujah. You know, we played with Origin before, you know, so it's almost like a family reunion.
Right.
And then we're getting acquainted with other bands that we haven't been on the road with, you know, like Within the Ruins and Thy Art is Murder, you know. And, of course, I've toured with Morbid Angel way back in the day, but, you know, I never really did like a full-fledged tour with them, so that's unique to have that going on, too, especially a band, you know, that's so deep-rooted in like the style that we're kind of involved with.
Yeah, you did mention that you're touring with some of the newer bands. I mean, what do you think about them?
I think they're all doing a real good job. I think this year too, Summer Slaughter has brought a really, really like heavier edge to things. You know, if you look back at past Summer Slaughters, it was cool. They mixed it up a lot, but this year it seems like there's just a lot more heavy-edged bass bands. You know, from Fallujah to Within the Ruins to Origin to Decrepit Birth. You know, all the way up to Morbid Angel. You know, everybody's got their own system of heaviness, and it's really, really brutal this year, I have to say.
Yeah, this is definitely, I personally think this is one of the best lineups that they've had in a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, nothing against the 1-2 years ago that we did, but definitely I think the fan structure is a little bit more intertwined than being kind of a little bit more separated as in past years, you know, because you get a lot of people that like to division themselves and separate themselves according to scenes and different kind of breakdowns of scenes and stuff like that. So yeah, this one seems a little bit more intertwined and running smooth like that.
Nice. I mean, I haven't seen you guys play yet, but I've heard that you've been playing some new material. What is it like playing this new material live?
It's awesome. It's getting a lot of really good feedback. You know, the record's gotten a lot of really great feedback, and I mean, we only have a 25-minute set, but we're playing 4 songs off the new record, and then, you know, filling in the other 3 with some older material. And like before it started, we did shows out to California, and we were playing like 5 new songs, and we had like an hour set and everything. So I guess playing 25 minutes is actually pretty easy now, since we were playing about an hour.
Yeah, so I mean, I was looking up, I guess, research on the new album, and you went for a more organic production with the album. Was there any benefits? I know it was very tedious, but is there any?
It's a little tedious. I mean, it's not nothing abnormal. I guess you just spend a little bit more time and a little bit more money to do it that way. You know, we went to 2-inch analog, where a lot of people use digital, and only because too, digital is just cheaper nowadays. It's quicker, more efficient. And but the sound doesn't necessarily end up the same as it does on 2-inch analog. So we really wanted that element. So we kind of fought for it and went forward with it. And I mean, we have obstacles with it. Like tape is really hard to find nowadays to do 2-inch. So you either got to find old tape, or there's a company that makes tape, but they don't have the chemistry of making tape right. So you gotta do this juggling act, get some old reels, cross your fingers, hope they work, record to them. Once you drop it down into Pro Tools, hope everything works out, and then once you're at that point, everything can move forward at a pretty steady, stress-free bass. So, but yeah, I think it is tones, and I think we wanted to capture all those tones with drums and guitars, and the way Sammy still uses the head and the cabinet. We mic the cabinet up, and the drums. We really want really natural sounding drums, and we just we fought hard to have the 2-inch thing go down, and we're really happy with the whole outcome of it.
Yeah, I definitely think the album sounds more raw. But when you said that you're playing 4 songs live, and when you perform the songs, do you think that they sound different, or they sound better, or anything?
Well, I've always in the past, I've had people say, like, when you listen to Goatwhore on record, it's not the same as Goatwhore live, and I fully agree with that. And I think for years we struggled to kind of meet that, but I don't think we can ever meet that. I think we're the kind of band, it's like, okay, if you have the record, you have the record, and these are the songs, and learn the songs and get to know the songs, because when you come in a live setting, it's going to be a different experience. We're just a more attacking, vicious band in a live setting, and everything just comes off full throttle. And I don't think we can ever duplicate that aggression, on a record. So it's like the record's like the appetizer, and the show is like the meal.
There we go. Well, what's for dessert?
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe beer.
Dinner and dessert.
Maybe 2 in 1.
The dessert would be the celebration afterwards of achieving such heavy success.
There we go, right there. So I was reading past interviews that you've done since this album, and everybody is asking you about their personal favorite songs. Now I want to ask you a personal favorite song. I love Heaven's Crumbling Walls of Pity. Is there a interesting story behind that, or did you write that differently or anything?
I mean, it's pretty much, a Goatwhore song like any other. We did some different little things in it. I like that song a lot too. I mean, I like every song on the record, but that song in particular, actually, now that you mention it, it has 2 sections in it where it's like, it's got these vocals that sound like they're run through like distortion or whatever, and it's just kind of speaking through, and there's like a solo, and then the vocals come in afterwards with like screaming behind it. And what we did to kind of get that effect too, like it seems like kind of grasping for air, but trying to get the words out. And so what I did was I ran around in the studio for like 10 minutes, and they had the thing ready to record. And then I ran around, had the headphones on, and I was like, all right, and I plugged in, and then we went. So I was like kind of out of breath and trying to dish the words out for it to give that kind of element to it and everything. But yeah, that song's pretty unique in so many different ways.
I know, I love, when I first heard that song, I'm like, that's the one, just that one's so good.
Yeah, and what's unique is a lot of people do have a different, everybody's got their own little song they like from the record, which is cool because it's kind of been through pretty much every song on the record when you read different things online. And so I guess we're doing something right as far as, filling out the entire album.
Go. And I was, I think it was that same interview that I was reading, I can't remember who it was, but you mentioned something that you noticed how you evolve as a band with every album. How do you think with this album in particular have you evolved?
I think the thing is I think it's maturing. We mature as musicians. We look back and we notice our flaws or the things we need to work harder on and stuff like that. Like Sammy is a guitar player, Zach is a drummer, James is a bass player, me as a vocalist. And you implement those changes as you move along from each record to each record. So you can look back. Like I definitely don't look back to my first record like some bands do, and they're like, oh, we were young, immature, whatever. I really embrace those records. Those records are really unique, and they show a progression and a cycle of us evolving as musicians and songwriters and things like that. And that's another aspect too, even songwriting, the way we intertwine and work our ideas together and everything, and it evolves even that much more mature. Yes, we are still immature in many ways, but we have a lot of maturity in what we write and do, and that's the evolution of that, and that's the growth of that, and so, I always look back and I like to look at every single record and see how me personally, I've evolved as a vocalist, how I implement the lyrics in the the vocal variations within songs and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, yeah, this is really cool. This is really cool. You know, kind of be like a critic to myself, in a sense, because definitely we are our own worst critics. You know, we're definitely criticizing ourselves with everything we do. And when we write music, nothing against the fans, but we write for ourselves. You know, we want to make sure the material we write we're enjoying when we play in a live setting, and we're not just writing because Joe Schmo from Michigan likes this riff off this last record, and let's just duplicate that 100 times. You know, we have elements we really appreciate, and that's what we go after.
Nice. All right, so what's next for Goatwhore after this?
Let's see. Okay, we do the Summer Slaughter, and then when it ends, we're going to be doing the Gorbecue on August 16th, you know, in memory of Mr. Dave Brocky, Odorous Urungus. And then after that, we're going to be doing 5 shows, 2 in September on the West Coast, and 3 in October on the East Coast with Sam Hain. And then we go to Europe with Dying Fetus, Fallujah, and Malevolence in early November to mid-December. So
the whole year is all planned out right there.
And I'm sure things will start opening up for the new year too. I mean, whenever our records drop, we pretty much stay on the road steadily and get everything going. So
it's always a good thing, or hopefully it's a good thing.
Yeah. I guess it's a good thing.
Nice. All right, here's the last question. Do you have a message for the fans or anything?
That's the hardest question always, man. I'm always burnt out at this point. I just say keep the faith, man. Keep it metal.
All right, everybody, thank you for watching. This is Stephanie here with The Age of Metal. Like Ben's saying, they have their new album, Constricting Rage, the Merciless, out now. They're doing a lot of touring this year, so keep up on everything that they're doing and stay metal.